All right, how's everyone doing? Welcome to From Z to A, Alphabetical Interviews with Zach Andersen. I am Zach Andersen. Today we're here at Sage Sound Studios for the 58th edition of Monsters of Acoustic Rock, and I am joined by Foggy Otis.
Hey, everybody. Hello, Zach.
Hello. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to ask you the difficult questions, as long as it has something to do with the letters of your name.
Okay.
All right, so we'll start with F. When writing a song, do you tend to focus on writing the music first, the melody, the lyrics? Does it vary song to song?
I would say almost always it starts out with something on my instrument.
Okay.
And then I kind of just loop that, and then a melody will come next, or a phrase.
Okay.
You know, so, but it's, and then, so it's really, and when I say something on my instrument, it's like that happens, and then 30 seconds later, the words, so it's basically simultaneous.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. And when you're coming up with a set list order, do you tend to plan things out meticulously ahead of time, or will you change things up on the fly depending on how people react to certain songs, or just kind of wing it?
Well, I really like solo performing because of the freedom it gives me to branch out, but I always have a set list. And one of the reasons I do is because with the ukulele, things can get very repetitive sounding. So my set lists, I also list the key of the song next to it.
Yeah.
So in case I want to pull an audible during the set, I look ahead and make sure it's not going to clash or repeat something coming up, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I always have a set list. Don't always stick to it. More often than not, I probably do change it during the set.
Okay.
But but I like to be prepared.
That sounds good. And you used to be a guitarist, but then you switched to ukulele. What was the story behind that, and how did you find the transition from one instrument to a much smaller one?
The whole time of my life when this transition took place, I would say was traumatic.
Okay.
I was 42 years old, we're talking 2008, and I was in congestive heart failure.
Oh.
Probably for a few months, and I was ignoring it, and then the symptoms got so bad it couldn't be ignored. My ankles had swollen up. I was teaching high school, and it was the first day of spring break, and Barb sent me to a doctor, thankfully, and then that doctor put me in the ER, and they ran a bunch of tests, and about 5 days later, I was put in an ambulance and sent to a different hospital, the Beth Israel Hospital in Newark. Had a quadruple bypass. Flatlined in the cardiac care unit a few days after the surgery, and then when they brought me back on that move, I've had an implanted pacemaker defibrillator ever since. So the way that brought me to the ukulele was I have a scar right here on my wrist. Well, they harvested an artery out of my wrist for my heart. They took one out of my, behind my knee, and every place they took an artery, I've been numb ever since. Yeah. So I lost so much dexterity that I couldn't fret a guitar anymore. I tried. I mean, I spent about a year doing gigs still, and it was just painful and depressing. Yeah. And then I had a little toy ukulele around the house, and the thing about it is the strings are further apart than guitar strings. So now I didn't have to be as accurate in as small a space, as confined. So I was able to play some chords, and it kind of worked. So I was happy again, you know? And then I started bringing it to work with me. Montclair High School in New Jersey. And we had an ukulele club, and I was the moderator. And one day a week I'd be strumming around the building, and it was just something that it made me feel good. It made other people feel good. I started figuring out songs I had written on guitar and how to work them out on this little instrument, And over the last 12 years, I've developed multiple coping strategies. On my YouTube channel, I go back with videos as far as 2015, right at the beginning of this ukulele, when I was taking it serious, when I moved up to upstate New York. And on the videos, you'll see me at times slap myself in between songs because I'd be waking up my thumb and all of that. But over the years, I figured out if I dropped the tuning on my instrument, on an instrument that small, I bring it down a full step, so it really releases a lot of that tension.
Yeah.
And it cuts down on the fatigue for my left hand, my fretboard hand. And the real added bonus is it adds a lot of sustain to the instrument that you're not normally used to hearing. You're used to hearing like that staccato plink, plink, you know, and it's very pretty. And when you hear me, if you pay, it's like my ukulele role model is like Keith Richards after he ate a bucket of chicken. I'm like a little greasy playing, you know. It's not I can be precise, but usually I like the greasy side of things. So that's what brought me to the ukulele. And then my wife and I moved out of New Jersey when I retired from my teaching job. And we moved up to upstate New York, and then I was based out of Hudson, New York, and I worked on this whole act for a good 6 years of full-time work and a lot of gigs. And I kind of turned it into something that I'm proud of, because when I first got to Hudson, and I'm hanging out with the musicians, and then it'd get to me, and somebody go, "What do you play?" I go, "Well, I play the ukulele, but it's, now I'm like, I play the ukulele. Like, I've accepted it. I've accepted it. I've come to terms with it. And, I'm in hindsight, this whole traumatic event was probably one of the better things that happened to me in my life. It definitely led to me living here in Connecticut now, and I really like this area.
Yeah.
So,
It's amazing how stuff like that can happen, where you can have something completely life-changing all of a sudden turns into something positive, or you gotta make it into something positive.
And it wasn't easy.
No,
I mean, especially on my wife. I was going through it, living. I was in the hospital for 28 days.
Wow.
And the whole time we didn't know when I was coming home. It wasn't like, "Oh, you'll be home in the week." No, it was just wait and see.
Right.
So she had to deal with all of that stuff. I just didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
I was just there. So you accept it.
Yeah. All right. And tell me about your first ever gig. Where was it? Any memorable moments from it?
Okay, Jersey City. I'm going to put it into what year would this have been even? I could narrow it down. I'll come within 2 years. I'm going to say Jersey City, 1981.
Okay.
It was at St. Aloysius Academy, an all-girls Catholic high school on Kennedy Boulevard. And it was a battle of the bands with 3 bands. Friends of ours had a band. Our band was called Crossroads.
Okay.
And then there was this band that neither of us, both of our bands were 13 and 14-year-olds. This is hysterical. And then there was this band we never heard of called Intruder. And they came into the gym, and they had their own scaffolding in a section of the gym, and they set up their own stage for them. And there were smoke machines and lights. And when they hit the stage, they were unbelievable. And they had to be 25 years old. They were like this pro band in a battle of the bands. And so there were 3 bands in it. We came in, without a doubt, 4th. Yeah, we were terrible, but we had fun.
That's good.
It was just scary.
Yeah. It was always the first time, and then having somebody was setting up their own lights, that's going to add a little to the nerves.
I wonder whatever happened to those guys.
Right.
Probably poison or something.
Maybe, yeah. And we're about almost halfway through the year. What would you say has been the highlight of your year so far, and what are you looking forward to coming for the upcoming second half of the year?
Definitely, the highlight of the year was I finally produced the show of original music here in Connecticut, and thank you for coming.
Of course, yeah.
And you're going to be on the next one. yeah, that was really a highlight, and I didn't do it myself. My partner Jason Sasso handled sound, stage, hospitality. I mean, he was literally setting up tables during the show for people that were coming in. He was great, and then that was definitely a highlight. But being new to this area and finally coming out and meeting other songwriters and stuff, you know, that's another highlight. You know, I have a lot of highlights right now. I'm a very fortunate guy to have so many things that are highlights in my life right now. So, it's just it's a really good time, you know, for me in my head to be me for a change. You know, we all go through those.
Of course, yeah.
You know, that's how you write a good love song.
Yeah. And what are you excited for the rest of the year?
The rest of the year, well, I'm really excited to get out now, because when I moved here, the highest profile music I was exposed to were like, you know, the cover bands near the water, and that's just not what I'm into. I'm into hanging with other songwriters and things like this. So my wife has been trying to push me for 2 years. She's saying, you know, don't you think it's time to get out and start doing singing your songs for people, like, you know, and this was the year I really put that into gear. So, and I'm looking to just keep furthering it, and now I'm enjoying getting out and going to see some of the other songwriters too, because I really do think that if we support each other in their gigs like this, it doesn't happen overnight, but if you go out and support your friends' shows, and you do that consistently, after about 6 months, you're going to see you have this whole scene happening. Because already I've only been to a handful of shows, but in the audience, I'm seeing familiar faces already. So, you know, just go out and be seen and smile and contribute, you know, and it'll come back to you. It really will. You give it 6 months to a year, and you won't recognize some of these gigs you were playing for 4 people, and there'll be, you know, 40 in there.
Very true. And I like to end all my interviews with 3 interesting or random facts about yourself that many people may not know.
I skated through the Lincoln Tunnel on rollerblades.
Okay.
Not many people know that. When I was in college, it was a Big East University. I was a Big East University college athlete.
Okay.
And I'm purposely not going to say the sport because I'm going to take this clip and I want to see what my friends here in Connecticut come up with for what sport. I'll tell you the school. It was Seton Hall University, and I'm 5'6", so we'll rule out basketball.
That was my guess.
Yeah, we'll rule out basketball. I took that one off the table for you. But yeah, Seton Hall University, me, athlete.
All right. One more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I am a big-time nerd over comic books, horror movies, and AEW wrestling. And it's just not something people tend to expect out of me. But
who's your favorite current AEW wrestler?
Right now, I'm a branch of the learning tree. I am loving the heck out of the whole. Hey, you know,
he's done a good job turning it around.
I cannot wait to see how this hits the fan because it's gonna be great. So yeah, I am a huge fan of the learning tree. Please, Chris, if you're watching, take me under the tree.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
If you want to check out Foggy Otis, please visit the link below. And now we'll cut to a performance from Foggy. So thanks again. We'll see you soon.
Ain't got 2 nickels, ain't got a pot. 401 forget-me-not. I'm standing here like a squirrel without a nut. Left you hanging out to dry. Don't know where, don't care why. Well, I'm just standing in the rain. I hear there's one born every day. They say that when my ship comes in, the sun is gonna shine again. Until then, well, I'll be standing in the rain. Well, I'll be alright tonight. Won't you please leave on the light? And I'll be okay out here in the rain. Well, I'll be just fine tonight. Hope you don't mind tonight. But I'll be okay out here in the rain. I'll be okay out here